So before you put the needle in the vial, you pull the syringe down 2 cc's to put the air in. Then you push it back. Then you put the vial on. Then you push the air back into the vial.
Yep. And then from there
you
draw
all
your liquid out. So as your volume drops down, eventually your needle will have to drop down too. So you get as much out. There should be about 5 cc's in there. So you'll usually end up pulling down there, so you're getting air, so your needle is above the.
So you push the needle up.
Like push the needle, like pull the needle down. Yeah, see there you go, right there.
So,
and that way you can continue to get your liquid. See, your liquid's coming in now. Just keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing.
There's some air.
That's okay, because we'll bump it out. Almost got it all. Now you're getting into air again. See right there? So we just need to adjust. There you go. See if you can draw the rest of it. It's hard to draw out. That's kind of the purpose of putting that C. Okay, that last part does not want to come out. What's going on? Oh, no, we got most of it.
You did?
Yeah, there's just a couple drops left. There we go.
Then we push it all the way up.
So what I'll do first is I'll put the cap back on just to make sure I don't accidentally knock the needle off. So I'll put the cap back on.
All right.
Just for a second so that I can tap these air bubbles all the way up to the top, because I want to get all those air bubbles together. Make sure there aren't any other big ones sitting around the bottom anywhere. Looks like we got it all together.
And then push it
and
up.
Then you'll take your cap off again for just a second, so you can do the nurse thing where you push it up very slowly until all the air comes out. And so just keep pushing. There'll always be that little spout of liquid that comes out, but you want to get that air out. And you want to keep it really level so that air bubble wants to go. Because if you have it tilted, did you notice when you had it tilted how it wanted to, the air bubble? Yeah, that air bubble's being naughty. There he goes. There, you got him. Did you see it go up?
Yeah.
Now just the teeniest push, just let the air bubble out. There it goes. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
All right, so now put your cap back on again.
Where is that cap?
Where'd the cap go?
Here, is this it?
No, where'd the pink cap go? It's usually pink. It is pink. I know, we had it just a second ago. Did you put it in a pocket? I don't see it on the ground.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, there it is. It just fell in the crack.
So put the cap back on.
Put the cap back on. And then, of course, from here on out, be careful not to hit that plunger until you know you're releasing your liquid, because you don't want to lose your shot. Yep, there you go. And you can leave the needle on.
Leave the needle on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said it's dirty.
Oh, he's going to make you change needles?
Yeah, he was going to make me change needles.
Oh, my goodness. He's making it harder for you. I mean, you can if you want to.
Too hard for me, all this stuff.
I was going to say, it's hard to change needles, but you want to keep the cap on until you get back to the horse. That's funny that he's making you change needles. He's making it harder on you.
He gave me many needles.
As long as you're really careful when you're doing it, it stays sterile, you know. All right, so some people take the needle off to put it in, others don't. I usually leave the whole thing attached, because if you have a horse that's bad about shots, it's faster to leave the needle on the syringe. Does that make sense?
Oh, you mean put the needle in and then put the syringe in?
Like some people will do that, but to me that's even harder. So now that you're over by your horse, I always untie my horses before I give them shots, because sometimes you have a horse that wants to set back because they're like, I don't like this. So that just helps keep that problem from happening. And most horses are fine with it as long as you just are committed to it.
So I think it was right there.
Yeah, it's right about there. So you're going to take your cap off again. And then you're just going to go straight in like a dart.
He pulls it.
You can do that too. That's another option. Some horses get weirded out when you do that because they know it's coming. Some horses are fine with that. You have to make sure if you fold it that you don't poke it into your own thumb.
I can't remember where I put that.
You're good.
Right there?
Yeah. And don't hit your plunger yet, because you got to make sure that you don't draw into any blood.
Like right there?
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. And now draw back before you plunge. So you have to pull back on your plunger. Try not to move your needle any. Okay, you got air, so now you can push it in. And as you're pushing it in, keep the pressure constant so you don't pull your needle back out, because sometimes people do that. And just try to make it smooth and fairly fast. Good. And then once it's in, pull straight out so the whole thing comes out. There you go. And then recap so that you don't stab yourself. There you go.
You're a good boy.
So some horses, when you grab their skin,